Well, what we got to talk about again,
Again.
and maybe again. Let's see how things go. But what we got to talk about again
Mm-hmm.
is Drake and Mos Def, aka Yasiin Bey,
Mm-hmm.
because
That's what we
now
got to say.
Drake has responded.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I was reaching for a snack. Sorry.
Oh, I was like, what's she doing? What's going on?
It was very sudden.
I didn't know what was happening
Obviously,
there.
I was snacking before we started. And I just like very instinctively was like, oh, let me reach for my snack. I don't want to be one of those people who eat on the pod. Anyway, so yeah, there's new developments in the Yasiin Bey Drake saga.
Yes, there are. So
Give it to him,
Drake
Jack.
Drake has put up a couple things. He called Yasiin Bey. Drake called Yasiin a Bohemian bucket, which is the Toronto equivalent of a crackhead. He also put up a picture. I don't even know where at this point because I couldn't find it. I heard about it after the
Hmm.
fact. But he put up a picture of a mic in a hotel room or something, kind of saying like, don't worry, I can do that too.
Yeah.
So Drake has responded now.
You think he's gonna? You think he's gonna? You think he's gonna make a diss track?
No, 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 no. You can't ask me a question. What do you think about Drake did? What do you think
Wait,
about Drake's response?
why can't I ask that?
Nah, nah, we got to start at the beginning. You can't just jump to the
What
second
do I
chapter.
think? What do I think of Drake's response? I don't think of it. I just,
He called him a crackhead and put up a microphone in a hotel room.
I just, I think it's silly. I think it's silly. Like, first of all, why are you calling that man a crackhead? What's, what's the point here? Are we children? That's the first thing. But also, will there be a diss track? Cause Drake, don't piss on me and tell me it's raining. Like I don't want to see a picture of a mic in a hotel room. I want to see a picture of you with the mic in the hotel room putting down a verse. I don't want to see the nonsense. I don't care about the nonsense. That's cares. I don't know what a battle between Drake and Yasiin Bey would look like. I don't even know that I really want that. But I would prefer, and I say this all the time, give us some bars.
Right,
If you have an axe to grind with another rapper, give us some bars.
right.
Duke it out. Give us a good old fashioned rap battle. Okay?
I agree.
That's really all I have to say about it. Like, what do you well, you said you agree. Do you think he will though?
Uh, well, before we get to that, I wonder, has Drake heard the full interview or has he only heard the clip that went viral of the Target thing? Because in the
Hmm.
interview, there's more clips, first of all, but the
Yeah.
clip of him saying Drake is a pop artist and the music at Target, that's what's gone viral. I wonder, has he seen more than that? Because Mos said more than that. Yasin said more than that. Yasin said that, I'm paraphrasing because we don't have time for everything he said, but the summary is basically that we live in a time where a lot of bad stuff is going on and there's a lot of war and there's no peace and a lot of different things are happening. And it
Hmm.
is interesting to him. It is sad to him. Again, this is my summary, not Mos Def's words. But
Hmm.
basically, it's sad to him that someone who has the largest platform on the planet, the person who's arguably the biggest artist on the planet, is not
Hmm.
saying anything of substance or anything to try to help the cause. or further the movement of peace. And
Right.
that's why he was saying like, yeah, but you make target music and that's fine. But I think he's saying like, but you're also not saying anything about anything that's going on. You're completely silent and just making, party and bullshit music. Not bullshit in quality, the term party and bullshit, go have a
Hmm.
good time.
Right.
And he has a point. Drake is not known for being a person who has substance in his music, especially not once he crossed over to mainstream and had the pop records. Drake is not someone who we know for saying these are the things I think are wrong. Drake's music
Hmm.
has very specific topics and he kind of sticks to those topics more or less, which a lot
Hmm.
of artists do, right? And so I'm not going to single out Drake. There are plenty of artists who don't say anything about the geopolitical issues or the social economic issues of the world. Mos
Hmm.
Def comes from a different cloth, a cloth like Nina Simone, who said basically that it's the job of an artist to speak about the real shit going on in their times. But that's not the shit Drake is on. That's not what Drake does, and that's what Mos Def was saying, and that's why he thinks it's sad that that's who's at the helm. That's who's the quote unquote king, the number one person in hip hop today. I wonder,
Hmm.
did Drake see all of that, or did he just simply see the clip where he was called a pop star who makes music for Target? Um,
I
that's my
kind.
wonder. Oh, go
Hmm.
ahead.
I was gonna say I kind of feel like for Drake, I don't know that it would matter whether he saw the full interview or not. I think that Drake. I don't think Drake is looking to take on that responsibility. So that being said, I don't see him I don't see him changing his tone if he sees the whole thing. In fact, I kind of would imagine, as petty as he is, him doubling down on the fact that that's not what he's about or that's not what he does. Um,
I don't know. I don't know how you do that if you watch the full interview because I haven't even seen the full interview yet. But just off of what I told you, I heard I don't know how you turn around and make a diss track to Mos Def after that. Because someone who's focusing on worldview, someone who's talking about the geopolitical issues that are going on, someone who's talking about genocide, basically, because it seems like that's his view of things. I'm not saying what my view is at the moment, but
mhm.
he seems to be under the stance that he supports peace, he supports Gaza, and that's what should be the things that we're talking about, not Drake. I don't know how you diss that person if you've heard the full thing. It doesn't make a lot of sense. And now I don't know if you want to diss Yasiin Bey slash Mos Def. That is an
Well,
MC.
but that's why I said I don't know what a battle between the two of them would look like. And I even further is that I don't know if I want to see that play out.
Drake would
Because
have to
of the
really rap. He can't do the thing where he raps over a party beat and
right.
throws two or four bars at you.
That's why
And
I'm
this
saying,
time, J. Cole can't save you.
but that's why I'm saying that because I feel like I don't I don't see how that battle works. Like the scales aren't balanced there, and
Uh
it's
huh.
fine. Like if to me, if you mess with him, whatever you get, what you get, and you don't get upset, right?
Which him?
Like you, if you mess with Mos Def,
Okay.
right? Because like you said, he's an MC, like with
Yeah.
the capital M, capital C.
Right.
So if if Drake if Drake walks into that arena, if he gets on the court and he picks up the ball, it's all fair game. Whatever comes back at him, whatever reaction or whatever the bars are the bars.
Yeah.
He's if he can't hold his own, if he can't hold his weight in that battle, then maybe he shouldn't have got in it in the first place.
Yeah. I don't know what a Drake and Mos Def battle sounds like either,
I don't either.
but I will say it's a different ball game. Um,
You're playing
and
with the
yeah,
big
we
boys
haven't
at
heard
that
a ton
point.
of music from Mos Def lately, but we
No.
do know what he's capable of.
Yeah.
And also, I think even publicly, it may be looked at like you're picking on someone because he didn't make a rap song. He was asked a question in an interview and he responded.
And he
To make a
responded
rap
to it.
song, right? So to make a rap song responding to what was said in an interview, which we know Drake will do, but this
What?
interview this interview was not what a podcaster thought about your album or anything
Right.
like that. This was someone speaking about what's going on in the world and
Hmm.
how we should be focused on peace and bringing attention to real issues, not just distracting ourselves. I don't know that the public will receive that well if you go diss him.
I think they'll play with Drake a little bit. I think they'll let Drake do whatever he's gonna do because it's fun. I'm not talking about me, but just in general, it's fun to watch Drake, get in the weeds of things
Mm-hmm.
and do the corny thing he does where he feels like he needs to, say something petty
Address
or,
everything.
address everything. And,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure even if there's no diss track, there's going to be a song at some point that mentions it in some way, shape, or form because he cannot help himself. He, uh, you know, offline, we were having a conversation unrelated about impulse control. And I feel like Drake is a good example of when impulse control fails because he doesn't, like, he can't, it's almost like he can't stop himself from getting into the mix of things. And sure, I guess if you're the biggest rapper in the world, right? Like, it's easy to get into the mix of things,
Sure.
you know? So, I don't know. Like, uh, I don't, like I said when we started this, I don't know that I want to see any of that. Like, I don't care to see them go back and, like, okay, I'm contradicting myself because at first I said, write some music, right?
You did.
But I said that because I feel like if you're gonna show the microphone, if you're gonna do
Mm-hmm.
all of that, then just make the music and put it out.
Right.
However, to think about Drake and Yasiin Bey getting into a battle, it makes me cringe a little bit because I don't, like I said, I don't know what that would look like, and I don't. There's people I'd rather see battle.
Right.
I just don't know that Drake is not good at letting things go. Drake
Right.
is Drake sometimes raps off of his emotions and or often raps off of his emotions.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious to see, like, you posted that picture, what you gonna do now?
Right.
That's kind of
Because
where
we
I'm
know
at with
Mos
it.
Def is not responding to a picture.
No, no, no. But
Especially not when you're
but
focused on talking about peace and global issues.
right. And just to address that real quick, I get it. Like, intellectually, I get it. Um, you have a huge platform, Drake, and you're a huge star, and your influence is very much there and very much, you know, holds a lot of weight in the world.
Right.
And I struggle sometimes with what is my expectation as a consumer what is my expectation of these people who have celebrity? What do I want them to do? I
Right.
think that where I land with it is that um, I'm not looking for, and I'm not a kid, but I'm not looking for a role model out of any of these guys. I'm not looking for, I'm trying to be careful with the way that I say this because want, I want to be clear that this is in no way to diminish what is happening in the world. It has nothing to do with that. But I think there's this big conversation that we often have about what artists and just entertainers in general, celebrities in general, owe to the world they exist in, right? And like how should they act? What should they say? How should they respond to issues happening in the world? I don't know that I personally looking for that from Drake, but I understand the impact he would have if he centered those things. So it's complicated for me because I know where to go to find people who are prioritizing what is going on in the world and able to have a strong stance and be an advocate and, you know, whether it be through giving information, getting information and putting it in a place that makes it easy to consume. Um, it's difficult for me. Like I understand exactly what Mos Def is saying, but it's almost like I don't. If Drake never says anything about anything of substance, I remain unchanged by him because I just feel like I know I know what I'm getting over here and I'm not looking for it nor am I expecting it. Maybe I'm wrong for not expecting it from him. I don't know. But I don't know. It's just to me it's complicated because it's like then we let him then we say okay Drake should be speaking on these issues or Drake should be rapping about this and Drake starts rapping about it in a way that we don't like, we're going to crucify him for doing it, you know?
Okay.
And I don't I'm that's just my opinion. I'm just saying like I think that I think that people call upon certain people who don't have the tools and who have no business speaking on certain things. And then sometimes we find that when people do, the people who really probably shouldn't do, it's not good. So I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, it's complicated for me. Like I don't think anyone should be ignoring what's happening in the world. That's not what I'm saying. I just I just don't. Drake wears barrettes in his hair and, talks shit about women and talks about how much richer he is than other people. I don't. Drake talking about Gaza, what is he going to say?
We don't know, and we'll probably never know because that's not the kind of music that Drake makes. And that is the that's the weird part, right? There are a group of people like myself, like Mos Def, who believe part of an artist's job is to speak up about the things going around them, right? a lot of what early hip hop was struggle
Mhm.
music. The things going on the corner, up the block,
Mhm.
down the street. As hip hop has expanded, so has our reach. Knowing that we have the reach to reach someone across the pond, across the country, across the globe, changes things. And
Mhm.
so there are some of us who believe, yo, you should speak up about the things that are going
Mhm.
on. And maybe he's not a person who would support Gaza. We don't know. Maybe he would support Israel. Maybe he would support the US. I don't
Mhm.
know. But what I do know is it's pretty clear that Drake does not have an interest in speaking up about these things. And that's fine. But then that also means that Mos Def can criticize you about it because
Of course.
he
Mhm.
believes that artists are supposed to speak up, and he has spoken up. He's doing it in the interview, he's done it in his music. And so the proof is in the pudding. He's done it, and that's what he believes. Now, if Drake doesn't believe it, cool. But then, as we keep saying, then you can't get mad at people when they criticize you for the things that you do. And that's the problem, right? If Drake
Mhm.
doesn't believe in doing those things, that's absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine. There are
Mhm.
those of us who do, and there are plenty who do not. Right? We both are Jay-Z fans. Jay-Z usually does not say anything. In fact, Jay-Z has said things very rarely. It's a handful of songs that Jay-Z has said what's going on besides what's going on in the hood. So I get it. But then you have to be open to the criticism of people who are saying,
Mhm.
yo, you just rap about the same three things and you just
Yeah.
trying to give people a distraction at Target. Do I think it's Drake's responsibility? No, I do not think it's Drake's responsibility. But I am of the belief that it is every artist's responsibility to speak about the things going on in their time. Now, if you don't agree, that's cool. But
Mhm.
what can we do? We can
Yeah.
criticize. That's really all we can do. We can't force Drake to say, "Hey, tell us what's going on in Gaza," or else knuckle sandwich. We can't do that. We can't say, "Hey, we're gonna force Drake to rap about this thing." I mean, we can't do it, right? I'm being silly. We can't
Knuckle sandwich.
knuckle sandwich. Gotta take it old school. You know what I'm saying? Knuckle sandwich. Knuckle sandwich. So we can't say knuckle sandwich to Drake because he won't talk about the things going on in the world. I would think Drake, someone who has stolen the sound from many places across the world,
Mhm.
has an interesting worldview. We've heard Drake take music from Jamaica and from Africa and bring it, quote unquote, to the US. And he's from
Mhm.
Toronto. I would think someone who's well traveled and has money also has opinions, but we cannot force him to do this. It's whack to me. And that's really all I got because if it was me, I'd be saying stuff. I already say stuff, but I also understand the person who says, "Hey, I don't want to get involved in that." And who knows, maybe because of the amount of money that Drake has and the contracts he has, it behooves him to stay silent. Let's be honest, we're talking about a half Jewish person, a half white person. Maybe I shouldn't say Jewish, so I'll say a half white person who is from Toronto. Perhaps his money and the ties he has in the US keep him from saying something. As a person who involves themselves in different business dealings, I can also understand that. But once again, then you have to be quiet when people who do say something are critiquing you. Yeah, they got opinions because they're out here really saying stuff and really trying to make change. And you over here talking about, yeah, left foot stomp, right foot, shut up. That's how they feel. They feel like, shut up. They feel like, yo, mad people are dying. We don't want to hear that. And that's their right
Sorry.
too. No, it's
Yeah.
fine. It's all
That's
right. It's good to
that's
be silly
the
while I'm
left
being
foot
serious. It's
stab.
a little bit of balance.
Sorry. I
It's
also did
fine.
my nightly yawn. Did you see it?
I did. I did see it. I was trying not to call it out, but you did it. So, but
It's a part of the pod at this point.
pretty much. Yeah, so that's what
Yeah.
I think. I think that everyone is entitled to do what they feel and what they
Hmm.
feel is best for themselves, their business, their family. Cool. You can't be mad at
But
Mos Def.
yeah. You can
You
be
can't be mad
you
at
have to
Mos
be
Def for criticizing what you do. The same way all the rich guys criticize the broke guys, right? Oh, how come y'all not doing this to get rich? Well, it's the same
Right.
thing, different topic, but it's the same thing. Most Def feel like,
Hmm.
hey, Nina Simone said we supposed to speak out. I speak out. My people speak out. Why you don't say anything?
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, it's a valid point. I don't, you know, my rant the other day was more about, well, it was before I had known that there was more to the interview. Um, and it was more about, the shady, you know, grocery store reference. But
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, I am a strong believer in the fact that art is subject to critique, and that's just the way we exist in the world. So,
Yeah,
like I said, I don't know what that would look like or sound like. Um, Drake trying to incorporate those things into his music, but most Def is certainly entitled to that opinion, and it is an important opinion, I would say, because of how much of an effect, not just the conflict with Gaza and Israel it has, but just there's so many things in the world that they're not they're not easy. They're not It's rough out there, is what I'll say. We live in a really screwed up world. So there's a
yeah,
lot of there's a long list of things that, but yeah, interesting stuff is what I'll say.
agreed.
That's where I'll leave it.